Greetings and bienvenue, MITZU. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Has anything really creepy ever happened when you were home alone? Something happened to me just a few minutes ago, and now I'm freaked out. I was in the backyard about an hour ago to empty my cat's litter box. It's 3 a.m. where I live, and there's no lights or moon shining. Hear really loud rustling in the bushes, which are huge and deep like a mini forest, so a human could easily hide in or under them. Think nothing of it until a loud crunching noise comes from that general vicinity, as if someone had stepped on a branch. Nope.jpg. Went back in and forgot about it. A few minutes ago, I went to put my cat in the shed, and there's a stain on the ground that, in the dark, looks a lot like men's shoes. Run back inside to get a torch. Not shoes, it's blood. It's probably just an injured bird. I continue to the shed, but just as I touch the lock, a series of loud bangs knock off of the inside walls, and a very human-like groan. Slam the door shut and run back inside. I don't know what to do, but I'm really hoping it's just some injured junkie or something and he leaves me the hell alone. Pick-related. It's the blood. Camera torch isn't that great, but it's definitely blood.
My grandmother's house has a lot of stories. She's been living now with 2 cousins of mine, but the second just arrived a few months ago. Before that, she's been living a good 4 years with only one at home, and he hates to be alone there. The house is pretty big, 3 stories, and my aunt, who was the last of my grandma's kids to move out, used to live on the top floor. She left some furniture when she moved out, and my cousin told me that he would hear stuff being moved on the top floor. He would check it out and the chairs would be out of place, sometimes the dining table too. He also told me that sometimes the noises come from the basement instead, but he hasn't checked those out. An old maid that used to work there, worked so long she actually became a friend too, told my mom once that she saw my late grandfather talking to my sister. My grandfather died when my sis was around 2. I was around 1. The old maid said, as my mom told me, that she was cleaning the house when she noticed that the picture of my grandfather. My grandma has that pic since forever, and always kept that pic in the corridor facing her bedroom, was blank. Then she heard my sis, who was around 6 at the time, talking in the next room, and when she entered there was an old man sitting in the bed with her. She recognized the man as my grandpa and fainted. When she came back to herself, there was nobody there and the pic was normal.
Damn, tell me more?
I'm pretty sure there's more shit that my mom doesn't tell me. I tried asking a few times, and besides the grandpa stuff, she always dismisses my questions a little too fast. That's pretty much all I got from her. And according to my cousin, shit's still making noise upstairs, but he just said screw it and left it alone.
B. 2008. B. Living with mom. B. Browsing 4chan. Hear mom calling to me as if she's at the bottom of the stairs. I can barely hear shit when I'm in my bedroom on the computer. Keep telling her this. Getting irritated that she keeps insisting on yelling up to me instead of coming up the stairs to talk to me like a reasonable person. Stand at the top of the stairs and hear it again, still sounding far away. Think maybe she's in her studio in the basement. Go downstairs, see her car isn't even in the driveway. Remember she left almost an hour ago to go shopping, check the basement anyways. Home alone except for the damn cats who are asleep in her bedroom. Nope, back to bedroom. My face when this shit continues several times a month until 2011. Also, she thought on many occasions that I had called to her when I had been sitting up in my room listening to music and doing schoolwork, and once thought she saw me standing at the front door looking outside, wearing a yellow t-shirt. I've never owned a yellow t-shirt. I hate that color for clothes.
Not home, but alone, and it counts. Be me. Be working at a local theater. The play kind, not the movie kind. Old-ass place, 2 deaths confirmed in its 120 years of existing. Investigated by TAPS team at one point, and also confirmed back rooms are haunted. Also, some Satanists apparently used it while it was being built, as evidenced by satanic drawings and old-timey graffiti found on concrete structure under walls and floors during remodel. I'm always the first one in the mornings. I have the wonderful job of turning on all the lights. Theater auditorium light switches are located in 2 spots, tech booth and backstage. The booth is always locked in the mornings, and I don't have the right keys to unlock it. Normal backstage entrance, not through the auditorium. Also locked, so I have to go through the main seating area to get backstage. No windows in the theater, so it's pitch black. I'm talking about sensory deprivation dark. Always use my phone's shitty flashlight to light my way around. Been doing this for about a month now, and I swear I see moving shadows in the seating area whenever I enter. Figure it's my flashlight and mental tricks, so I don't really care. One day, I opened the door to go inside the auditorium. For some reason, it was incredibly cold in the theater. I figure someone just forgot to turn off the AC again. As I walk towards the stage, hairs on my arms stand up. Ignore it as chills from cold. Get backstage. It's incredibly quiet all of a sudden, almost at light switch, when I stop and listen. Swear I hear voices backstage talking. Can't be, nobody else is here. Even if they were, they couldn't gotten in because of locked doors. Keep listening and try to make out what they're saying. My toe cracks because I move forward slightly. Voices instantly stop. Dead silence for 5 grueling seconds. Hear a sudden noise right next to my face. Sounded like someone screaming, but in a very loudly whisper voice. Almost like a sudden outward breath, but in my ear. Nope the hell out. Don't even use stage stairs to get off stage, just fucking jump. Run out of the building. Wait for coworker to arrive before going back in.
I worked in a theater where a colleague had a very similar experience. We all laughed at him for being a wuss and he quit a week later. But who am I to say the little coward didn't see a ghostie? It seems every theater attracts ghosts. Or alternatively, they attract drama queens who have episodes and throw fits every 15 minutes. Probably because so many people die on stage.
It's because of the passion put into the art. It's just asking for someone to return if they made a living out of it, because it's such a passionate, inspirational art. Lots of heavy energy if you're into that.
Be about between 8 to 11 years old. Can't remember now. The house is pretty shit, has 2 floors and is a council house. At the top of the stairs is the toilet. In the middle, there's a section where it bends around, so from the toilet door there is a blind spot. Basically, an open box shape. For some reason, was always terrified of being upstairs on my own when it was dark. Was okay if someone else was there, even if they were asleep. In other houses, I had no problem upstairs alone. It felt maybe like I was being watched. I can't articulate it. I was okay being there during daylight, though it still wasn't as comfortable as other buildings. One day, I need to go to the toilet during the evening. Since it was at the top of the stairs, it was easier to dash in or out of the toilet, so I could manage that. Dash in, go to the toilet, turn around, walk to the door. Didn't close it for faster dashing. There's a vertical shadow on the stairs that is 3D. Like if someone was in a transparent robe, it would have a similar appearance. It floats down the stairs as I stare. It hasn't noticed me if it's alive, and I just watch. At the midpoint, it vanishes. I forget if it sunk into the ground or just vanished. Entire family was watching TV. It couldn't have been a shadow. Run down those stairs sanic fast. Tell my parents. It's forgotten quickly, and we watch TV. Week or so later. Walking home with father. Tell story again. Oh, your mother said she saw a shadow like that on the stairs a while ago. No more details, still no idea what it was. That house was nasty. I don't consider this paranormal, but as an addition. Have a TV with Mush PS1 hooked up to it. If upstairs, there is a 99% chance I am here. Above TV, an eye-shaped path formed on the ceiling one day. Not in front of me, just woke up and it was there. The house was shit, so it was probably just damp, but I'm not sure why it had an eye shape. I did find it a little comforting thought, like a benevolent presence. I felt better during daylight, but the same at night.
Home alone, 10 at night. Everyone is gone for the night. Didn't know sister was home since I stay downstairs and don't care what is happening anyway. Sleeping in the basement, on the couch. Wake up to TV turned on. Get half awake, so I try to doze off. Look at the laundry room door before I fall asleep. Dark figure runs out of the room and runs upstairs. Half asleep, so I don't think about danger. Always have my buck knife next to me, so I grab it and run up the stairs after it. I don't remember anything else. The next morning, I was back on the couch and my sister was telling my parents about what happened. This is her story. Here's shuffling downstairs. I yell and run up the stairs. She hears me at her door. I'm in my underwear holding my buck knife, yelling, "Where the fuck is the shadow?" Then leave the room and go back downstairs and sleep. This happened a lot, except I just slept talk and sleepwalk. I've been caught saying shit like, "Where's the tobacco? Give me the damn money." Lines from Planet of the Apes. "Get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape. Your name is Nova, and other stupid shit. Simon and Garfunkel work at Toys R Us. Give me the exclamation point.
I have similar stuff to this, except I'm not asleep and I don't say it aloud. I'm thinking about completely unrelated stuff, and suddenly, Admiral Mayhew, DDS, Angry Krogan Suppository, and several others that I've forgotten. On a more related note, during my most recent stay in residence, I was watching YouTube while my roommate slept, and I suddenly heard him mumble, "That's not how you walk, dumbass."
My little brother does weird shit like this all the time. Really freaks me out when he'll just start laughing at nothing in the middle of the night. One night he even woke up, walked down the stairs, and just sat staring into the darkness for 20 minutes.
Playing video in the living room while parents are away on anniversary. Hear an ear-rupturing screech coming from outside. Has a bit of an echo to it. Scared shitless. Grab a knife out of the kitchen drawer. Slowly walk towards the door. Whatever it is scratching fiercely at the door. Jump back, run towards the living room. See it on the balcony. Looks like a naked, scrawny, bald man just sitting there. It turns its head. It has no nose or ears. Only extremely deformed mouth and eyes. It screeches again. I run and hide under my cover the entire night with my bed pushed up against the door. My parents and friends don't believe me. I still occasionally hear what sounded like it from time to time.
I remember maybe a year ago, some girls I know were home alone in the winter. They were being dumb girls and using the hot tub at night and taking selfies in their bikinis. Weren't even cuties. So before they were even using the hot tub, they were taking selfies inside, then went to use the hot tub, which I guess was in a sort of addition to the house, which was kind of inside, kind of outside. When they came inside from using the hot tub, they posted the pictures they took on Facebook. And someone pointed out that in one of them, there was a person standing outside looking in the window. The person was wearing a mask of some sort. They noped out, and then in the morning found footprints in the snow, walking all around the house, stopping at each window. They lived pretty far out in the country too. Like a month later, they found out it was some Minecraft YouTuber, and it wasn't the first time he had done that. I went through the girl's Facebook trying to find the picture, but there's so much shit, so no luck.
Jesus, that would be terrifying. Was he ever caught, or does he still scour the town in search of dumb girls?
I know he was caught and did get in some sort of trouble. Don't know exactly who he is or where he is now. It was pretty chilling, especially looking at the picture. It was the center of attention all around the country for a while. At that time, I was kind of friends with those girls, but it's been a while since I've talked to either of them or seen them.
Playing video at around 2 a.m. Phone rings, blocked number. On the other end, Pop Goes the Weasel starts playing slowly. I still listen to the phone in silence for about 1 minute. Hear slam coming from the attic. Phone call abruptly ends. Shitting bricks. MPEG. Grab Dad's Beretta. Go to the attic. Turn on the light. Jack in the Box from childhood, sitting there in the middle of the room. The phone starts ringing again. Nope. Turn on every light in the house. Stay up until Dad gets home from work around 5 a.m. I threw the Jack in the Box away.
I've never really used this site before, Desu, but I've been watching a lot of stories from this board on YouTube, and I figured I'd share my biggest paranormal story I have. Be me, 15. Mom dies from cancer, leaving me living alone with my dad and my cat. We're both so grief-stricken for months that we don't bother touching or throwing away any of her stuff. We leave her phone, PIC-related, plugged in mostly, but I always unplug it now and then so the battery doesn't get ruined. 4 months after she died, I unplugged her phone. It was charged enough to last another few months, given it wasn't being used. I put the phone next to her urn and go to bed. The next day is Saturday, and I don't have school, so I'm home alone. I'm sitting in the living room when suddenly I hear a phone ring. WTF.JPEG. I realize that the ringtone is my mom's and it's coming from her phone, and I freeze. It must just be one of her old friends or someone who had her number that doesn't know, right? I stand up and the phone stops ringing. Get a text notification.
It's my mom's phone again. Ding, 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 ding. It won't stop going off. I run over to her phone to see who the hell is spamming my dead mom. I tap the screen. Nothing. No notifications, no missed calls, nothing. I unlock the phone with my fingerprint. I shit you not /x/, the thing opens the Messages app on its own. It goes to the last message from my dad. I love you forever, it reads. Shit myself, turn the phone off, start crying, and desperately try to call my dad, sister, and grandma. Nobody answers. I cry for a few minutes repeating, I love you too, and I forgive you, over and over. Eventually my phone rings. It doesn't just ring once. Every person who didn't answer before is now calling me back at the same time. I talk to them one by one, explaining what happened. Luckily, my family is slightly spiritual, so they all believed me. Cry myself to sleep. I love you, Mom.
8 years old. Brother, 15, went to hang out with friends. Sister, 8, went to her friend's house. Mom and Dad at work, home alone, watching Hey Arnold. It's the episode with the wedding ghost lady who hums that tune. Oh God, so spooky. I'm huddled really close to the TV and it's dark in my house. No lights are on. All of a sudden I hear the wedding ghost's tune coming from the stairs. Think up a plan. Run like hell past the stairs to the garage door, put my shoes on, and GTFO to get my sister back home. Her friend's house was only a few houses down, so I'm not alone. I'm at her friend's door. All of a sudden somebody grabs me from behind. It's my brother with his skateboard. Makes me ride with him on his skateboard. Screw that, I can't ride a skateboard and that's just dangerous. Makes me do it anyways because I'm a weak-willed 8-year-old. I'm going to fall. I'm going to fall. Get home safe and sound. Too spooky.
Older brother used to visit my aunt a lot when he was younger. Aunt's boyfriend at the time was into all the paranormal, spiritual stuff. Older brother said that there is a spirit that follows him due to aunt's boyfriend at the time doing some shit. Never believe him, but would always hear noises from his room even when he is not in there. One day I decide to sleep in his room because he is out to see if I can see anything happen. Wake up in the middle of night to look over at the digital clock and it said it was 3:08 a.m. Right next to the clock perched on the chair was a gremlin-look creature. TFW was the only one home at the time due to parents being on vacation. Sat paralyzed with fear in my older brother's bed. Didn't want to stare at the gremlin creature because I didn't want it to know I saw it. Just stared at the ceiling till I could pass out again.
I had a relatable experience, living with my ex about 3 years ago, enjoying a decent night's sleep, begin to come out of sleep state, realize I feel as though someone is watching me sleep. As I'm between sleep and awake, I see a figure, completely shadow-like with an aura around the eyes. Start to blink. I'm now fully awake. Look in the corner of the room. Shadow figure is still there, watching. Or what, mate? Close my eyes for a bit. Look at the corner of the room again. Figure is still there but fading. Let out a grunt as I roll back over to go back to sleep. Literally the only weird thing that's ever happened to me. Don't know what the shadow figure was. Maybe a remnant of a dream I was having. It's not unusual that I wake up during the night, but when I do, it's always because I need a piss. Also, when I say there was an aura around the eyes, it was like when a bathroom mirror gets steamed up, and you can see like an aura where your eyes are reflected, if that makes sense.
I work from home and sit at an L desk. My work PC is on one side, and I can rotate 90 degrees to my personal PC. One day, I was doing some work, and I started hearing a weird noise through my headphones. Assumed it was my cat. Kept hearing it, so I took one of the earphones off, and it was obviously the sound or keys being pressed one by one on my mechanical keyboard. Slow, stilted, like an old woman peck typing. I turned and watched the keys depressing on their own for maybe 3 seconds before it stopped. No idea what to make of it, but it was pretty convincing to me. Not sure what it convinced me of other than something weird happened.
I had a sort of sleep paralysis experience a few years ago that felt more paranormal than psychological. I was staying the night at a friend's house, and he brought up to me that sometimes the vent under which I was going to sleep would just stop blowing out air, although no other vents did that. I thought he was joking, but that night freaked me out. I wake up in the middle of the night feeling extremely uneasy. I can see, but I can't move, and it's as if I'm still half dreaming. I instantly felt a presence, 2 men to be specific, but I couldn't see them. At the same time, I get a vision of a page of a book and a narrator's voice reading a sentence from it. 2 men walked into the room. One of the men grabs my pillow and pulls it, but soon after lets go. A second later, I feel their presence fade, and as soon as it's completely gone, my body begins to vibrate. It vibrates so hard that it felt like I was dying, like my soul was about to leave my body. I shake myself out of it and take a few moments to catch my breath. I felt very weak after that. Going back to sleep seemed to fix it. That was my first time experiencing anything like that, and I haven't experienced anything like that since. Everyone treated me weird at the wards, including the staff. People reported seeing mimics of me when I was somewhere else completely. Stuff like that. They all thought I was possessed or magical or something. I keep this stuff to myself, and I don't tell my therapist anything, so I've learned to avoid getting thrown in the ward. It's like the entity wants me to freak out and act crazy, so I get locked up forever. So now I'll talk about my most extreme paranormal experiences. Twice I was laying down on my bed and started to fall asleep with my eyes closed, and suddenly a wolf, and then a lion, growled right in my face like a jump scare, and it scared the shit out of me. I'm not sure how I saw it really, it was like in my imagination, but it felt so real and threatening, like there was actually an angry snarling wolf right in my face about to rip my throat out, and I definitely wasn't asleep. It happened twice just so I wouldn't mistake it. The next event was even crazier, and happened 3 times. I wasn't asleep or even close to it. I felt the presence approach, as it had many times, and somehow it communicated its desire without speaking. I just knew, like how near-death experience people say you can just sort of transmit your thoughts and feelings with these entities. It wanted to enter my heart, and even though I had agreed before, this time I decided to say no. That's when it happened. I felt it rush me and enter me, and it felt like 1,000 hands from hell started clawing at my heart and desperately trying to consume it or enter it. I could hear their screams, their wails, their horrifying, monstrous growling and screeching. It was like hundreds of demons from hell were clawing at my heart, trying to get inside. It lasted for a few seconds until I cried out to God or anyone else to save me, and it stopped. It happened 2 more times, and I got better and better at resisting it. The 3rd time I was confident, literally said, "Bring it on," and then powered through the experience until it gave up and stopped. I'm not sure if I beat it, or if it just wants me to believe that I beat it. Maybe it's just a big game to try to make me believe in demons, so I'll spread misinformation for them. I'll probably never know for sure. I never talk about this stuff. People will just think you're crazy. No point. It's probably still inside me or around me or whatever. Haven't had anything like that happen since, but recently I was laying down in my bed at night and I felt the presence, so I raised my hand up mockingly like I was going to shoot an energy blast at it or something. And right when I did that, 2 objects on opposite sides of the room on 2 separate shelves both simultaneously fell to the floor and hit the ground at the same time. Angel spooked me for a second, but after having beasts growl at me telepathically and evil demon-like entities clawing at my heart like a horde of zombies, stuff like that is mundane. I know Christians are going to think it's demons, but I'm not so sure. I grew up with that. It's too convenient, like it's some bullshit handcrafted to trick me and my culture specifically. I don't know what this thing is, but I doubt it's demons from an ancient religion. Might be the inspiration for that sort of thing, though.
5th dimension intruder trying to get my energy. I doubt it is demons, guys. What is it, though, derp? It's demons, okay? Don't like this answer? Call it astral parasites, reptilians, demons, eerie entities, whatever. If some invisible fucker tries to get you and gets scared when you point fingers at it and runs away when you mention God, then it's a demon, okay?
This happened when I was a kid. I don't know if it was sensory overload or what, but I will tell you. Being 16, I live with my mother, grandmother, and cousin. Mother has to work, grandma's in church, cousin is in school. I'm in my room since I was ill. Clearly hear a hissing. Think that it must be some toy and try to sleep. Hear it again, closer. Maybe it's the medicine. Right, it's just the medicine. Going nope all the way to grandma's portion of the house. Somehow still hear it. Take a blanket and sleep on the couch. A couple of hours later, Grandma arrives. Hey, Sonny, what are you doing here? It's just that I felt better here. There is more sunlight. I still hear the hissing when I'm all alone. I'm 25.
Sub/X/, what is some weird, unexplained shit that's happened to you personally? Doesn't have to be major, but just weird or inexplicable. I'm a strong skeptic and not very superstitious, but what has long bothered me and boggled the mind of myself and my brother for about 10+ years now. One night, home alone, my parents are gone. In 2008, my brother and I were up late watching anime in the TV room. House is totally dark. It's probably 10:30 p.m. in October or November. I don't remember which, but our parents were visiting family. We're 20 and 21 years old. That fall, my mom had gotten into making martini cocktails, as for some reason she found them fashionable and tasty. She actually hates gin and vodka now, and so we'd been collecting things that you need to make martinis, like shakers, olives, vermouth, liquors, but most importantly, the glassware. My dad is one who, when he goes in on something, he does it big. So he had gone to the thrift store and bought nearly 15 completely different martini glasses for a few bucks each so that everyone could pick their favorite when we did martinis next. They were all spread out, standing up on the dining room table on the tablecloth in the dark, as all the lights are off in the house except for the TV. What happens next is what I can't, and have never been able to, explain. As we're sitting there watching an especially quiet, low-volume scene in the anime, it's just the sound of nature in this particular scene. So birds chirping, bugs buzzing, a summer scene. From the other room, we hear a distinct but actually slightly loud ting of glass, like someone took a fork and banged a glass one time, or something like that. I pause the show and ask, "Hey, did you hear that?" My brother nods, and we go out to investigate slowly, turning all the lights on as we move through the house, thinking maybe there's someone in the house. We're trying to figure out what the noise was, looking everywhere, when I look down at the table and I see a ring of glass sitting perfectly next to one of the martini glasses, like a literal ring of glass on the top lip, as if you had a perfect laser and cut off the top 1.5 inches of the glass all the way around without breaking the rest of the glass somehow, and then placed it perfectly next to the glass. I picked it up, and it was a perfect cut. No rough edges, no bubbles, no imperfection that I could possibly see. All the glasses were intact before this, and to this day we have no clue how the hell that happened. Pressure change. Sound vibration from the TV popped off the glass at the perfect frequency. But wouldn't it have broken the rest of the glass? I have no clue. I'm not superstitious, but that shit freaked me out. Anyways, it's mundane, it's kind of silly, but it's the most surreal thing I've ever experienced, and I would love to know what happened that night with that martini glass.
Not home alone, but almost. Be me. Sitting at home with my wife watching some shit on the TV. The phone rings. I wobble across to pick it up. Landline, 'cause this was years ago. Initially, no one on the other end, just a weird swoosh noise, like someone on a bike butt-dialed me. A childish voice starts to Doppler in and out of the swooshing. Voice says, "Hello, Dad." "Sorry, love, you've got the wrong number." "No, I haven't, Dad. I don't have any children, tell the caller the same." Voice starts to go apeshit. "You're my father, why won't you admit it," etc. Assume it's one of my arsehole mates having a laugh. Tell them to fuck off. Voice continues to call me Dad and beg me to come find them. Hang up the phone after a short while of this. Return to my old lady. "Jesus Christ, Anon, you look like you've seen a ghost." catch sight of myself in the mirror. I'm literally dead white. Never experienced it before, doesn't sound that scary, but I was shitting bricks, and I've had a rough old life. I'm not a man to scare easily. Somehow the voice was childlike, but I know it wasn't a child. Just typing this now on a sunny afternoon in another country has the hairs on the back of my neck standing up. B14. My parents split when I was 7, so at Dad's house. Dad has this printer that prints photo paper. It makes this loud clicking noise when turned on. Home alone because it's the weekend and Dad is off working on someone's car, playing Advent Rising. That house always feels odd, like someone's watching me when I get up to piss at night. Suddenly a loud clicking noise. Nope. Hook up a small TV and Xbox outside and play out there until Dad gets home.
Our printers adjust themselves and make noises at random times. Mine used to freak me out at least once a month. Not exactly a Home Alone story because it happened many times, but most often it was when I was home alone. Summer, a few months after my older sister died. Finches or some kind of yellow birds started flying at various windows of our house. They practically dived into them, and usually they would latch onto the screen with their feet while still flapping their wings. Seemed like they had gone insane and were attacking our house for some reason, or had lost their sense of direction and ended up there. Happened many times throughout that summer. He has never happened in any year before or since.
B11. Mom decides to go to the store and leaves me alone for 10 minutes. Go downstairs to get something to drink. Notice there's a cup sitting at the back of the table towards the wall where I can't reach. Try anyway, but still can't, even when I stand on tippy toes. Move to get a chair. When I turn back around, the cup is right at the edge where I can reach, but I know for a fact it wasn't there before I turned.
Helpful ghost is helpful. Too spooky.
Similar, but different. Be late for work, looking all over the place for my keys, turn the flat upside down. At this stage in my life, I'm living with a crazy Irish drunken woman who is very sweet when not pissed up. She tells me I should ask the little people for my keys. Apparently, they like to hide things for sport. Yeah, right, you mentalist.jpg. Continue to search for keys. No joy. In desperation, I say, "Please, Mr. Pixie, can I have my fucking keys back?" Turn around. Kick keys across the room from where they were laying on the uncarpeted floor behind me, where I've looked a dozen times. My face when these days I still sometimes ask the little people to help me find something that's lost, or that they've nicked off me, I guess. And it often works. Not spooky though, I guess.
2 summers ago. It's 5 a.m. and I wish I could just go to sleep. Decided to go for a run. As I'm getting to the end of my run, I'm along a section of the house. I hear, "Get him." Don't think much of it, guessing someone was messing with a dog they had let outside to go to the bathroom early in the morning. Keep running. Suddenly, I hear someone else is running behind me. I stop and turn around. It's 2 people running after me. I say, "Hello?" Short fat kid is running at me full speed, bent over with his hand covering his face. Other guy is taller and a bit behind him. Stand my ground. JPEG. Short fat kid runs around me in a circle and back to his friend who runs off with him. Jog back home. Now, I really can't sleep. I don't go jogging at night anymore.
This happened to me a couple of years ago when I was in high school. Be home alone, summer break, mom's at work. Have this old fish that would sing songs whenever you walked in front of it. Thing was ancient. I got it when I was 6. Moved it up to the attic when I was like 7 or 8. It's been dead for years. Hear it go off repeatedly for the next few days, as well as soft footsteps in the attic. Shrug it off as a short whatever. Go to my dad's house for the weekend while mom's out of town. Come back on Sunday, mom asked me to clean the house. We leave the vacuum in the little space behind the attic door in front of the stairs. Open it up, and there are gouge marks and claw marks all over my attic door where the lock is on the outside. Looks like knuckle prints too. Definitely were not there the last time I cleaned. Shut door, nope to my bedroom. Then 2 years later, someone broke into my basement but couldn't open the door. There were muddy footprints all over the basement.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.